Hello, and welcome to a Lowman Guide to Trio Vow of the Disciple. Here are some timestamps, so feel free to skip to anywhere you wish or to pause the video if needed. Acquisition can be done pretty much the same way as with a 6-man fire team, with the adjustment of all 3 of you both running and defending your own totems. Alternatively, you can assign 2 runners, with one of the runners covering 2 totems, then the third person is defending all 3 totems. Either way should be fine, as only the yellow bar adherents are actually damaging the totems, so as long as they are cleared fast, you're fine. Also, every correct Glyph Keeper killed resets the white progress on every totem. I recommend using Eager Edge for running, and ways to clear ads and kill Glyph Keepers as fast as possible, such as Conditional Finality and Forbearance. If you have the raid armor, using 4 of the raid mods into the light will mean your grenades can wipe things very quickly. Snipers like Succession are great for killing knights also. And whichever method you use, there should always be someone in the center available to read your totem's panel for the light or dark call. If not, simply kill both of the Glyph Keepers, remember both symbols, then read which it was via the totem's panel. Caretaker is also mostly the same. The only difference really is there will only be 1 stunner. If one of you is very confident, you can try and solo run, but 2 runners are more than fine. The stunner outside doesn't have to solo stun though. Instead, they will just bait his slam and shoot his face, then position him so his back will face the center where the runners will be exiting the symbol room, so they can shoot his back in between running. If you wish to try solo stunning, a few ways are to use Deathbringer and shoot above him to hit his back. You can especially do this if you don't need any heavy, like on Hunter since you have Still Hunt and Lucky Pants available for damage. On Titan and Warlock, you will have to jump directly over him as you shoot his face, then quickly turn around and shoot his back, hoping you hit it. But solo stunning is largely inconsistent at the best of times, so don't worry about doing it, there should be enough time. Rockets such as a Reconstruction Bait and Switch Apex Predator are best for damage here, and utilizing the raid mod Umbral Sharpening to give your weapons extra damage is fantastic here also, if you happen to let yourselves get hit by a few of the bees. Alternatively, you can go with Into the Light again, providing you clear the bees during damage and spam grenades. Exhibition is all about timing and rolls, so we'll kick it off with all 3 of you being assigned to play as 1, 2, and 3, and following this table for relic pickups in each room. Player 1 will be the nut in room 1. Room 2, there will be nothing, and rooms 3 and 4 there will be the blight. Player 2 will be nothing in room 1, then the nut in the rest of the rooms from 2 to 4. Player 3 will also be nothing in room 1, and they will be the Aegis Vogue relic in rooms 2 to 4. But before explaining each room and role, I want to mention some useful tips. Pervading Darkness stacks will start decreasing once all Glyph Keepers in the room are dead. The nut should always deposit last, and preferably at the very last second, to allow the other relic or relics to deposit and wait out their curbed resonance timers so they can pick up straight away again for the next room. This is because the nut is what actually resets the terminal resonance wipe timer. As you're not picking up all 3 relics at once, the door will take around 10 seconds to open after the first pickup of any relic for rooms 3 and 4. In room 3, the wall on the left where the first Glyph Keeper spawns removes Pervading Darkness stacks if you stand against it. If time is very low, you can die and be revived to pick up a relic again straight away. And this encounter is ad clear sensitive, so killing as much as possible and as fast as possible is very important in progressing the encounter. Using Galahorn, Witherhoard, Sunbraces, and Forbearance are great options to quickly clear ads and progress faster. Starting in room 1, there's nothing much to say other than the nut goes right, and you kill the Glyph Keepers and Knight, then deposit after opening the door, all as normal. Room 2 is where you'll want to have player 1 try and clear as many ads as possible to spawn those Glyph Keepers in fast. The relics can be dropped after the first set of Glyph Keepers are down if you need to speed up any ad clear. Just make sure that you've killed the Knight, and you've all cleansed one last time before either or both relics are dropped. Room 3 is probably the hardest room, and it's where a bit more is happening, so let's go through each relic's job. The nut will not be able to pick up for around 20 seconds because of the delayed deposit in the previous room, but since the Knight won't spawn in until the first set of Glyph Keepers are killed, the timing is fine to do so. He'll be heading left alone and wipe everything he can, then go pick up his relic and kill the Knight. Standing against the left wall on that left side will remove any Pervading Darkness stacks, and therefore he is safe and Aegis can focus on the right. If the Glyph Keeper was non-relic, he can read before grabbing the nut. If it is relic, he can read after killing the Knight once he has his relic. He can then move up a bit further and drop the nut around halfway up the stairs at the far side of the room, ready for the second Knight later, and is now free to kill everything on the left again as fast as possible. The Aegis player goes right side, and together with the Blight player kills everything there as fast as possible. Once this is done, he will cleanse the Blight player and drop the relic immediately so he can move up and kill everything on the right as fast as possible for the second set of Glyph Keepers to spawn in. If the first Glyph Keeper was relic, then he or Blight can read, or even the nut from the other side. And if it is non-relic, then Aegis reads after dropping his relic, or again even the nut if it's early enough before he grabs his relic. If you do not kill the second set of Glyph Keepers fast enough, Aegis should be able to pick up his relic again at this time and cleanse both the Blight and Nut players to prevent a wipe from Pervading Darkness. The Blight player will be following a pattern of cleanses throughout the room, but initially you only need to do the first 2 in the front half of the room before joining Aegis on the right. The pattern is a zigzag that alternates sides. There are 2 possible paths for Blights, and it's determined by the position of the first one when you first come into the third room. If the Blight is on the right, then the next is on the left, up where the first Glyph Keeper will spawn. And the same if it's on the left first, then it's on right next where you'll be clearing with Aegis. Whichever it is, it will continue to alternate sides as you progress to the door at the end. For the second set of Glyph Keepers, Blight is always relic if you need someone to read it, and either Nut or Aegis can read the non-relic before either of them picks up again to deposit for the next room. The same is true in room 4. Room 4 is mostly exactly the same steps for each player, with the difference of layout, so Nut and Aegis should be dropping their relics around mid, and for Blight the same applies with it being either left or right when you first enter that room, and then continues to zigzag towards the end. Fortunately, Rhulk is done exactly the same way as the normal 6-man method. The only difference is there is only 1 dunker and 2 splitters. This means you'll have to dunk 6 times in total. Otherwise, the way in which you do this is normal, and you can reduce the amount of splits and dunks by 1 if on the 5th split, the splitter with leeching force gets emanating force with the dunker and you both dunk, so it does 5 and 6 in one go. So whoever is second splitter will be dunking the 6th symbol. GLs like Edge Transit with Envious Assassin, Bait and Switch, or rockets like a Reconstruction Bait and Switch Apex Predator are fantastic options for damage here. You can also make lots of heavy by tagging the Abominations with Cenotaph Mask and then another player Aeon finishing them, so everyone gets at least 1 brick. Again, using the raid mods Into the Light or Umbral Sharpening can really help in doing lots more damage and making this a lot easier for you. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new, and I'll see you next time.